What is going on, everyone? Happy Thursday. Welcome to the stream. So, this is going to be something of an experiment tonight. If you guys follow along, and from the names I see in chat, I think most of you guys are some of the ones that have been following for a while. When I've done streams on my channel, I've always had a guest, or two, or three, even when I had on Whiskey Friends. For tonight, I didn't schedule any guests. It's not like somebody backed out at the last minute, or we had a scheduling conflict with somebody. I just didn't schedule anyone. I thought it might be interesting to see how this concept kind of goes. I'm going to be posting the StreamYard link here in chat, and if some of you guys want to pop on and have a pour, shoot the shit a little bit, I think that'd be fun. I've got a couple of new bottles here that I'm going to get into. First one is this OCD number 5 from Glens Creek, and this is a 21090 pick. I've been in their group for a few months, but this is the first pick of theirs that I've got, so I'm interested to see what this one tastes like. I think I might have had a Glens Creek before, and as I'm looking in chat, I think Dave Vogel saying I think it might have been you that sent me a sample. Could be wrong. Then I've also got a Walleye Run from New Holland, and this is another pick. This one from Stuff and Whiskey and the MVP, the Mommy Valley. I forget what the P is, but Stuff and Whiskey pick. So I'm gonna crack these. I've got some interesting samples that have kind of been sitting here on my bar that I'll crack. One of them is the Penelope Havana that people seem to either really like or really hate. I've got the Fox and Odin Double Oaked, which I've been wanting to try for a while. And we'll kind of see where things go from there. So, cheers, and say hi to a few of you folks that got on right away. Marty, what's going on? I did send you the link already, so if you want to check your email, it's there. Travis Robeson, what is up? And I know that we've got you already entered into the giveaways tonight because you put in late last week and we're carrying you over. Cheers, Roger. What's going on? Top Jimmy is in the house. Doug Papa. Doug, I might be getting into a sample or two of yours tonight. I was looking them over. There's some real interesting things in those samples that you sent over, so I appreciate that. And Dave Vogel saying, yeah, Dave, was that a Glens Creek that you sent me? I know it's been a minute. I know you sent out a lot of samples, but I want to say that was the one that I had. I think it was from you. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I mean, what are you going to do? Whiskey Nose, Travis Roberts, and Roger Reed. What's going on, Jeff? Hello again. All right. I want Travis to win something. Okay, well, he's in. He's the only guy in it so far. So if I ended the stream and ran it, he's going to win. Well, let's talk about what I'm going to be giving away here. I'm still kind of figuring that out. Let me run the banner. Let's see. Okay. So I don't have a bottle to give away tonight. I am going to give away some flights and some samples. I think one of the flights I'm going to give away is from the Larrikin samples that we've got. I don't know if you guys watched the stream with Marty on his channel the other night. We had Greg from Larrikin, and they actually sent us some pretty decent size samplers. So I've got enough to put together for a flight for somebody for a giveaway tonight. I'll give away some samples of these two picks. Again, the Stuff and Whiskey Walleye pick just came out, and the 21090 Glens Creek pick. I'll pick up a few other things. I just haven't figured it out just yet. So I'll always make it worth your while if you want to get in. So let me figure this out. Tyler, you want to help me out by posting the link here in chat if anybody wants to hop on here? And while we're sorting that out, I get into this OCD. This one seemed like a good one to start out with because it looks like the proof point is 106. So it's not going to nuke the palette. Probably not. All right. So I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about Glens Creek. Friggin' cork is on there pretty tight, though. Damn. All right. There we go. All right. All right. So we'll pour that one up. Yeah, this one's kind of lighter, like a caramel copper color, light amber maybe. About what you'd expect for something about 100 proof, 106 proof. Ooh, it's got a big whiff of vanilla on the first smell. Let's see, Keith Glandon. Hey, Keith, thanks for coming by. Keith's one of the newer members in the Patreon group, so I'm glad that you're here. Feel free to click the link and hop on if you're so inclined, Keith. We got Josh Fritz in the house. What is going on, Josh? Travis spoke with Kings this weekend. I'll definitely be getting, let's see, some samples probably around September. I know Travis is a big fan. Is that Kings County, Travis, or am I mixing that up with something else? All right. Glens Creek is from the Old Crow Distillery. Okay, now the second smell seems a bit like cereal grain, a little crafty. So here's the tater sticker on the back of this one if you guys haven't seen this. I'm getting the angle right. Old Crow Double Barrel 47. I take it to mean this was double oaked or double barreled. So kind of would expect it to be a little bit darker. All right. Travis says King's family. Okay. And you had some, or at least one King's family bottle with you at the Blitz, and I know you let me try it, Travis. And I remember thinking it was pretty darn good. All right. Cheers, everyone. Happy Thursday night. All right, so that's kind of got a honey kick on the end of it. Wasn't expecting that. So big whiff of vanilla, then some cereal grain notes like Cheerios, and then some honey on the back. So I guess what you put it together, you got Honey Nut Cheerios. It's nice opening pour. It's not like a medium mouthfeel. It's not super light. It's not terribly viscous. It's a good opener, I think. Yeah, I think I like the nose the best. As far as the nose palette finish, the nose on this is really nice. Okay. Cheers, Sugar Kitty. What is going on, my friend? All right, Tyler, we got to figure out how to pin, and I think I'll have to do it from the YouTube. Let's try this. Pin message. All right, that should do it. All right. Tommy D, what's going on, buddy? Cheers, my friend. Got a few more heroes coming in here. Paul P. How are you, man? Hope you're having a good week. All right, Jimmy G, or Top Jimmy coming in with some knowledge here. Glens Creek is right next to Castle and Key. Jim Beam uses several of the Old Crow Rick houses, and Glens Creek uses a small portion of another building. All right. And Castle and Key, I've heard is a must visit. I haven't checked that one out. I think it's more so that I'm not a fan of their whiskey that I've tried. But I do hear that they put on a hell of a tour, and it's very scenic. It's that old Taylor building from, way back when. All right. Mark Boyer, what's going on? Just before the stream, Mark was telling me he was going to crack this OCD 5 as well. And Mark, what I was saying here is I get a huge whiff of vanilla, then kind of like a cereal grain, like a Cheerio type vibe up front, and then like vanilla and honey on the back end. A real nice opening pour. So let me know if that's in line with what kind of notes you were getting when you tried it. Anybody else get this pick from 21090 or another OCD pick? I seem to think that maybe I've seen a few other groups posting these, like maybe the Bourbon Judge. It's one that comes to mind. Maybe Whiskey Row. They say the Newcastle weeded makes up for previous bottles. Well, that would be, hopefully that would be the case, because the stuff that I tried was maybe batch one, batch two, Keith, and yeah, it just didn't sit real well. SLB loves it. Okay, so did they do a pick of this one too, Mark? Yeah, this is nice. This would be a good, warm weather sipper, something that you could bring out on the back deck. It's not going to jam you up too mad with the proof. It's a nice solid flavor profile. I dig this. William Hall, what's going on, dude? I did not get the 21090 OCD because I have 3 other bottles. Yeah, that makes sense. I haven't had any, Dave, and when I went to get this one, it was through shared pour, and they still had a few of these from the 21090 drop, so I figured double up, save on shipping a little bit, because that's bourbon nerd math, right? You buy more bottles to save on shipping. Multiple times I was planning to buy an OCD, but I'm not a fan of any coffee flavors, so I kept passing. Paul, I haven't gotten really any coffee vibes on this one. Maybe now that you've implanted that into my subconscious, I will, but no, I get like honey and Cheerios on this one. All right. Where's Gandhi? Yeah, where is Gandhi? I haven't seen him in a minute. Good kitty. So tell me, guys, what are you guys sipping on tonight? I don't know if you drink on Thursdays. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Thursdays is usually when I kick off my weekend, sort of. I did sip a few the other night on Marty's stream when we had the gentleman on from Laracan. And it was interesting because we had him scheduled for, I think it was 7 o'clock, and he wasn't there. And there was somebody that was in the stream, in the chat, that I guess was a friend of his or knows him somehow, and started texting him, and rustled him up somehow, brought him in, and then Greg ended up being a really interesting guest. So if you got time, or if you're interested in that particular brand, which is an interesting, up and coming brand, I think, check out that stream. You can probably fast forward through the nonsense where it's just Marty and I, and wait till we get Greg involved. But there's some interesting information. Greg, I think, has an interesting story, interesting background. Plus, I always like listening to Australian people talk. I don't know. Is that what you got in the glass? Miller Lite? Taking it easy tonight, Marty? Lip Service Crew. John J. Bowman. Is that single barrel or small batch? I think small batch is the one that I can actually see here in Michigan on the shelves. Single barrels, those ones are pretty hard to find, aren't they? The ones, and they're higher proof. Jeff says, Greg is a good guy. Got to eat dinner with him a few years ago in Lexington. Oh, no kidding. Yeah, super nice dude. and really humble. And I like that. About a newer brand. Don't come out, right out of the gate thinking that you know everything and that you've got it all figured out. You come out and you kind of roll with the punches and listen to people and listen to your customers and other people in the industry and learn from it and don't try to tell them that you know better when they've got all the experience. I think that's the right attitude to have. And I was really impressed with Greg for that, that perspective that he had. Sugar Kitty. Shh. JJ Bowman is the single barrel. Cask strength is called Abraham Bowman. Small batch is called Bowman Brothers. Okay, yeah, I know there's a whole different scheme with the labels. I think the only one that I see here in Michigan is the small batch. I want to say it's like 90 to 100 proof. Does that sound right? All right, Keith, pour of the year. Okay, it's early, right, Keith? Penelope 17-year light whiskey, vanilla bean, and cake on the nose. Amazing. I have seen some people post in other groups, um, some positive feedback on that particular bottle. I think it's just hitting shelves here in Michigan. Is around $100, give or take, or 110, 120, right around that range, Keith, which doesn't seem like a bad value given the 17 year age statement there. Heater at 127. Yeah. Tommy D. Tonight's lineup we have Bardstown Origin High Rye Bourbon, Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond Store Pick, Larceny A122, Sticky Icky Backbone, Drifting Drams Coffee. Well, you got it all figured out, man. I'm kind of still. I have some ideas, but I don't have a lineup here yet, Tommy. Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond Store Pick. I did just see one here local. Seemed like an interesting single barrel to grab. The prices on those around here are usually around $50, maybe with it being a single barrel pick, a little higher than that, but not too much higher. Let me know what you think of that one, Tommy. Let's see. Each brother has a bottle. Okay. Small batch is the only one available on the shelf in Michigan. Okay, so it's not that different up north either, huh? Keith, you won it in a raffle. Well, Keith, my experience is that one whiskey or gifted whiskey always tastes a little bit better than whiskey that I buy. So is that factoring into your decision to call it whiskey of the year so far? I mean, you are getting set up for some pours and puffs. Is that tonight, Tommy? Sipping some hard truth. The hello again whiskey friends pick. Hey, I love that one, Doug. I was actually thinking earlier. We're almost a quarter of the way through the year, not quite. But what are my favorite pours so far of this year? And that one was one of the first ones that popped into my head. That's a fantastic pick. Year to date or YTD. All right. So the verdict on the OCD number 5 21090 pick, I like it. I think it's a really good opener. Again, because the proof does definitely not knock you down. It doesn't have a big finish. Like I feel like I could have 2-3 pours of this and not, get what is the phrase my son uses? I won't get too faded. All right. Thank you for the kind words. Well, yeah, thanks for the great pick. I'm sure you got some other ones this year that we're looking forward to as well. I think that's where my focus has kind of been this year as far as buying bottles has been getting back to more picks. I got a few the Mash and Journey picks, which are always fantastic. The Whiskey Friends pick, I think. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what other picks I've got. Stuff and Whiskey usually puts out good stuff too. SLB says Jack 14 beats Russell 15 and GTS. I have a friend that says he's going to send me a sample of the Jack 14. So I'm really interested to try that. I don't think I'm going to be able to track one down here in Michigan. It's hard enough to get a 10 or a 12. And when I got the 12, I mean, it was like $160. I can only imagine what the local shops are going to ask for the 14, probably, three, four, $500. And I'm not gonna shell that out. Marty did buy the Bushmills Peaky Blinders bottle today for $29. You know what's interesting is I was actually looking at what bottle I was going to grab for St. Patrick's Day, and that was one that came up in another chat the other night. And I looked at it, I'm like, that sounds really good. What about 92-ish proof? It's got the Peaky Blinders tie in. I've got a soft spot for Bushmills, so I think I'm going to grab that one. If you happen to crack that one tonight, let me know what you think. All right. Greg McDonald, Whiskey No sent me. What do I win? Well, you get my undying gratitude, Greg. Thanks for joining us tonight. Cheers, buddy. 2025 for me is only buy bottles that fall into the really good or higher ranking or unique. I have too many decent and good bottles to last a lifetime. Paul, that's a good point. I do get tempted to buy new things without trying them just for the sake of reviewing them from time to time. But if I go to a store and I see that and I see something else that I know is good and I've already had it and it's a new batch or something, I do kind of gravitate more to that. But there are some things that I do want to pick up, even though I know that they might not be the greatest. Like this Havana, I did actually look for this bottle local. I just didn't find it. So one of the guys in the Patreon did send me this sample. So he says it's sickly sweet, but I've had other people tell me that, oh, this is like a great combination of rum and maple, and it's delicious. And Penelope stuff is generally pretty good. So I'm interested to see, am I all in on Havana, or do I think it sucks? I don't know. Let's see, Mark, I'm with Paul. Mark, no, you're not. You are buying more bottles than anyone I know. Redbreast cask strength. Okay, so that's another one that I was looking at, but I want to say the tag on that one here, local Mark, was like closer to $90, and for an occasional Irish, might have been a bit more than I was willing to spend. Because I'll be honest, I just don't reach for Irish. I mean, I've got, I don't know, 200-300 bottles here in my collection. I've got one Irish, and it's that Sexton, which is no good. So if I get a $30 bottle for an occasional St. Patty's pour, I think that's probably the space that I'm in. I don't know that I'd go for the $90 one that I just know is going to sit there. Marty says it's 130 there. Wow. No, I think it was $85 on Total Wine, and I think I just looked at it today. Looking for a shelf maker. If you've got the space, Roger, to build some shelves, I can show you what we did here in my bar area. I think we've got some pretty impressive shelving. Keith, is that Laricon Purple Label hazmat on your desk? No, unfortunately, it's not. We asked Greg about that one on the stream the other night, and he said that one was out quick, but that one looked awesome. I think it was 142 proof 9-year. As far as the Larikins that I've got here, the single barrel, which is an 8-year, 118.8 proof. My favorite of the bunch, which was this decade cognac finish, 10-year, 122.4 proof. That's actually a Canadian rye that they sourced from Alberta. And with that cognac finish, I think Marty can attest to the fact. I think that was our favorite one of the Larrikin lineup that either of us had. And then the last one is the 8-year bottled in bond. So 8 years 100 proof. Sup, jerks. Hey, Danny. One of the samples that I grabbed here, I don't know if I'll get to it or not, is that Magnus Batch 320 sample that you gave me the other day that I've been anxious to try. So I might get to that one. Let's see. I'll crack that Bushmills as soon as I get home. All right, Marty. I appreciate that, buddy. $300. Was that the deep purple, Keith, that Larrikin hazmat? Is that what they were going for? We'll chat. Yeah, Roger. I'll show you my game plan. It's simple but sturdier. I'll get out. Keith, need to hit Larkin. Yeah, I mean that seems to be the consensus, is that they got a really nice setup. Their whiskey, I mean, it was all solid, and that decade I thought was exceptional. Like I'd grab a bottle of it. The price wasn't ridiculous. I think we talked price on some of them, but I don't remember all of the details. I think it was a little bit over 100, remembering correctly. But yeah, really great finished rye with some age on it. It's good stuff. Yeah, the deep purple, $300. Is that what they were charging for it? Is that what you can get it on secondary? Seems like a lot. I'd like to get your thoughts. Oh. Hey, what's going on, Mark?
Well, I'm in the dark, apparently.
Mark is in the dark. All right, well, we can hear you, dude.
Well, I was just, my voice was a little better than this morning. And hold on one second. Alexa, turn on the jug lamp. Hey, there you go. Now you can see me.
I was going to say you're going to turn on my stuff over here if you say that too loud.
Anyway, no, I've been fighting a cold, but I'm good. I've tested negative for COVID, so that's good because after the summer.
Yeah, no, you got it a couple of times, didn't you?
Yeah, 2 times in 8 weeks. Yeah, and I hadn't had it for a couple years prior to that, so it's like, go figure. But I run a care home, and I take care of people for a living, and they ride the bus, and they go out with, and they bring stuff home, and I spend half my life in doctors' offices, so that's the way it goes. So I probably pick something up, but yep, occupational hazard.
I was gonna say occupational hazard. So yeah, did you end up cracking this OCD then, Mark?
I did. The Liz Broughton, she's the one that pointed me in the direction because I had mentioned to her another friend that we see at Evernorth, and I had mentioned to her that I was looking for one, and she brought it up to me. Hey, they're available on shared pour. So I got one, and she has a couple of the previous versions, and she told me don't drink it till I try the 2 samples to compare. Okay. And I was like, well, screw that, I'm opening it. So I opened it. But my thought is it has a little bit of smokiness to it. There's on the back end. That's what I picked up on it. It was like it's like lightly peated, and I don't like peated Scotch. It's not my thing. All the Ardbeg people out and stuff, but to me it's like licking the bottom of the barbecue. I can't do it.
Yeah, I think I equated that back end to more of a honey note.
Okay. Well, and it was like a sweet barbecue. How about that?
Okay.
So that's kind of what I picked up on it a little bit, but it's not so overpowering that I didn't enjoy it. I was like, oh, this was after I had a hot toddy, which I told you about prior. I had made a hot toddy with some barrel proof single barrel Jack Daniel's rye with a little honey and a little lemon and a little hot water because my throat's just kind of it was pretty good. I was like after drinking that I was like, hey man, I'm ready for so
yeah. Anyway, I think this was like what, about a $60-ish bottle or something.
Yeah, it was like it was after I got it. I think after shipping and everything, it was like 80 something bucks. But but that's shipping. I mean, you got to count that in. But and it's not like you can get it in Michigan, which So it's like, oh, okay, well, I'll give it a shot. And I've bought stuff through Shared Pour before, and I mean they're pretty quick. They don't mess around. I mean, I just ordered it last week and it was here, yesterday. So it's pretty
Yeah, they're
good.
one of the
It's pretty
best for
fast.
shipping to our state for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and there's a reason why like Jeffrey and stuff, they run their stuff through them. I know like Cam runs his stuff through them. Um, some of his stuff, not everything, but
Yeah, it seems
yeah.
like a lot of those
No, they're
guys run them through SharedPoor if they can, but it seems like there's some brands that only work with certain distributors, and then like the ones
well, I think it
that
also
I can't that bother me are the ones that go through. Yeah, what's the name of it? It's a Kagan bottle or Kagan barrel.
I and we can't get that here in Michigan.
Yeah, so you got to
And
do
in
the
the it,
whole label charade, and it takes like a
right.
month.
And it gets to be a point. I mean, Seal Box is the same way, but they've
Yep.
got a workaround. But they don't jerk you around. They just say, "Hey, there's a workaround." Then they deal with it. It may take an extra week to get your pay. You always get it. Michigan's a
Yeah,
weird state.
my last few experiences with Sealbox have been a little bit better, but I'm gonna say like last year, I mean, it was taking me like 6 weeks to get
Oh, that's a
bottle.
long time. I you know
Yeah.
I was signed up with their because they have a club. You can sign up with for so much a year or whatever. And I was
All
with
right.
that
So
for a while, and it seemed to be a little bit quicker because of that. Bourbon Outfitters,
they're
you
real
know,
quick.
yeah, Ryan, he makes sure to deal with stuff, and he just makes it happen. I mean, I'm used to it. I mean, there's a couple others out there that I have found that are pretty quick. There's a website called Love Scotch. They do great.
Yeah.
They're
I
super fast,
yeah, I
and
think that's
and
where I
they've got a
ordered
lot
my
of stuff
Smoky Hill
available.
from.
Yeah, that's where I got mine too, and their prices are not over the top, and it's not bad. I mean, you're always going to pay a little bit of a secondary price to a certain extent when you're ordering stuff, but I mean, it wasn't so bad
Yeah,
that
it was about what I was expecting to see it for. I certainly saw it
right,
for a lot
right,
higher in other places.
right. Yep.
All right. So I got
So anyway, with that,
all right. So I'm going to pour this Magnus batch 320 109 proof from Danny and get into that.
so is this their cigar batch or is this their regular
Yeah,
batch?
Joseph. Yeah, JMCB. So Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend.
Okay, all right.
So do you get into these ones, Mark?
I have a couple, yeah, and
Okay.
I'm not really sure what batches they are. I'd have to look. Right now, locally here, if I want to, they're 199.99 a bottle. That's what they run. That's retail in Michigan. People, this is something I keep explaining, Tom, to people, and I
Just
and I made a post here just recently that people need this when like I talk prices or anybody in Michigan talks prices, we have a state minimum. You
mhm.
cannot sell it for less than what the state has decided that is the minimum price.
Right. Unless it's
Period.
going to be something that's never going to be uh,
Right.
put
And
back on the
and at
shelf.
which point they have to apply to the state to get uh, an exemption to be able to price. But also in the state of Michigan, above the state minimum price, anybody can charge whatever they want. So say you got a
Right.
bottle of Jack Daniels that's 25 bucks, say it's number 7, 25 bucks. Well, if you can walk into any liquor store, they can turn around and charge you $300 for it if they want to. They can never charge you less than what the state minimum. And that's just how it goes here. That's life
So
in Michigan.
for the Magnus, for the most part, I'd see them at 200 bucks.
Yeah,
The
they're
most recent one that I saw,
199.99.
the most recent one I saw up the street at Total Wine, they've got the glass case and it's like 250 or 246 or some weird
See,
number.
and that's the other thing. People think, oh, it's Total Wine. They're a big corporation, blah blah blah. Well, they can turn around and jack stuff up all they want. It's above state minimum. They can charge whatever they want. Below it, they
Well,
can't.
it seemed to me when they first came here, which is only a few years ago, they put everything at state min, and so the idea is penetrate the market with our our huge footprint and you know,
Right.
kind of
On top
bleed
of
some of
all
these
their
local
own
shops
brands that they
by
have.
selling for lower.
Yeah.
Is 320 batch the newest? Roger, I don't know. Danny, if you're still here, you can chime in. I don't know if it's the newest one or not.
Yeah.
I forget how the number system works for these. Um, I know that
Well,
I've
it's
got
like
one in the 200s and it's a few years old.
their other. What's the other brand that Nancy does? Fox and Odin. Those
Yeah, I've got that one here.
yeah. I happen to have batch one for all four of them because they've got a double oak, they got their regular bourbon, they've got a rye, and they have a malted single malt. And I happen to have all of them that are number one. And I kind of put them away. I don't know why, because I'm weird like that. And I have all these. Tom can tell you I got a lot of bottles.
You, so you're a bit of a collector. Danny says they're up to 360. I don't know if they go 320. If do they go by fives, do they go by twos, or do they go by ones? I don't know. Does that mean there's 40 batches in between 320 and 360? That would seem like a lot.
Here's a question for you, Tom. I'm going to ask you because you're drinking right now. Compare that to the Tanager that she did for Still Austin.
You know what? I haven't had the Tanager
because they're both cigar blends, and I'm just curious what the difference, because I haven't had the Tanager. I haven't tried that yet. I haven't got a chance to get one. I tried.
Well, I can get you a sample of it.
I have a friend. Well, I have a friend of mine in Texas, and deals with distribution for them, and he couldn't get me a bottle because getting stuff out. Texas is almost as bad as Michigan when it comes to shipping. It's really bad. They have a tough time getting stuff in and out. Unless you've got a buddy there that's just going to stick it in UPS
or even
FedEx or something and get it to you.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of buddies that are in Texas that had a hell of a time. I think one got it and the other one didn't. I actually got mine through Carlos down in Florida, who it hit the shelves at Total Wine in Florida like real early.
And I haven't seen it here. I mean,
I don't think it's even askew on the state site, Mark. I don't think it even came.
No, because I think the only two that they have listed on the state site is just their regular and their cast strength, and I think that's it. I think that's all that's listed on there.
Check.
So
I think the last time I saw it, they added the red corn, and then
they did.
Also, I think there's at least one of the ryes that you can get here too.
I got the red corn and the blue corn.
Slowly rolling out some more of the Still Austin stuff here in Michigan, which is
because I got the red corn and the blue corn through Seal Box.
Mm-hmm.
They're both gone. I drank them both. I really like the red corn bottle. The red corn bottle was really good.
See, I'm partial to the blue corn, and I got like maybe one pour left out of that bottle before it's gone.
There you go. It's like me. I've got a bottle of barrel number 2 vanilla, the toasted in the stag barrel. I got one pour left of it, and I'm just holding on to it because it's so good. That's like my favorite bottle I've gotten from them. And I'm like sitting there, and then a friend of mine the other day, I said something to him. They said, "Why don't you just drink the last of it?" And I was like, "Well, because I'm saving it for something special." Am I really? No. It'll come down to one of these nights. Oh, okay. Now's the night tonight. It's like one of those things. So, but yeah. So I
something about it. I just can't bear the thought of not having it anymore. But
that's kind of. I think that's I am with that bottle too. Same deal. Yeah. But then last night, I killed Sydney's Blackberry Black Book bottle. I killed it. It was super good. That was a good bottle. But those type of things. But that's what I try to tell people. I got like 700 plus bottles of whiskey, and I got like 12 open. I'm really bad. Where I know you, Tom, you can't. You have no patience. You open them all.
I think I'm the opposite. I don't have 700. I think I maybe have 2 or 3. But I think I probably have about 10 bottles that aren't open.
Yeah, it's like I said. It's taken me about 5 years to get to this point. Prior to COVID, I probably had like 30 to 40 bottles. And then COVID came around. I'm stuck at home. I kept ordering stuff. And then, when we got to go around, I started going around. I was like, oh, there's all these really great bottles of whiskey sitting on the shelf. Well, because people hadn't been out shopping. They hadn't been out and stuff. And so I started
gobbling them up.
I did. I started gathering stuff up. So I've got some really great whiskey. But I'm funny about it. I look at it, they're like baseball cards at this point, and I just kind of was like, "Oh, look at that! I got myself a Honus Wagner." Well, so
you got some of that OCD kicking in. You got to have it.
Yeah, a little bit, and it's just like, and it's really not. I'm not really OCD, but maybe I am to a certain extent. I don't know. I don't know. But it's just, it's a funny thing. And then the other day, I was down at Evernorth. and was chatting with a couple of the fellas there, and was chatting with Brandon and Dan, and somebody said, well, they were talking about how many Evernorth bottles they had. Well, I got back home and I started totaling them up, and I was like, holy bottles haven't opened. So, so I even mentioned to Brandon, it was either today or yesterday. I said, "Are you still looking for?" Because it's the whole joke. Not a day goes by that somebody doesn't ask, "Do you have an Arctic Spirit or do you have a cobbler bottle?" So I sent him a message. I said, "Do you have a cobbler bottle?" He goes, and I said, "I've got one." He goes, "I've got four." And I said, the only reason I'm bringing it up is if you really need it that bad for like like a charity thing or something, I've got one. Because honestly, I didn't really care for it that much. It's too sweet for me, but that's me. I don't really like a lot of. It's like really fruity. It's almost like
I don't
drinking one of
back
those
up
fruity.
many bottles, but I did get a backup of that one, the cobbler,
Well,
and I got it back
yeah,
up.
so did I. Yeah, and I've
The other
got
one that I
one that's
backed
probably
up,
about 3/4 empty. So
the other one that I backed up was that Exodus 2, which
that's a fantastic bottle. Yeah,
right.
just hold
And
on
so,
to that
so one of my buddies
that
reached
bottle's
out.
great.
One of my buddies reached out. He's like, "Hey, you wouldn't happen to have one of these Exodus 2s, would you?" And I'm like, yeah, I got an extra one. So
Dan
it's one of the
Shook.
guys in the Patreon groups. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you got to trade? We traded something for it. So I would have liked to have held on to that one, but you know what? I know that he's going to enjoy that bottle, and then there's always something else.
Well, Dan Shook told pound for pound, money for money, bottle for bottle, he would have put that up against any rye this year. And it did get picked a couple times. And I said, by a couple of different groups, they put it in their top 5.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, that's I think
but
when it
I
really
can't
started to get
disagree.
some
I can't
traction.
disagree with it. It's a fantastic bottle of whiskey, and that's things they've put out so far. The only other thing I can think of that was better than that was the bottle that Ryan Alves put out, the Rhino bottle. Mm-hmm. That shit was fantastic. I still can't get over it. It was that good, and it was a Green River pick, and it's super good.
Franchi did a pick for his group, the Poor Nerds, and ADHD did a pick for his group. Yep. They were both rye.
I was there that
very
day.
Similar. And they were right there with that Exodus 2 for me. Just dark as all get out.
No, that bottle that Gary did, for the Poor Nerds, I got to sit in on the pick on that, and because I just happened to be there that day,
mm-hmm.
And it's a bottle. It really is. And so is Matt Porter. The two he picked a single barrel bourbon and a single barrel rye. Mm-hmm. Both of them are excellent. And like I said, I was out there in the barrel house when they were drilling bottles and got to taste a lot. But they're great bottles. I mean, we are very fortunate, Tom, that we live in a state where these putting something together that's something special. And I try to tell people, constantly, hey, you need to get over to the Midland area. You need to go over to Freeland and go to Evernorth. You need to try this stuff. If you're into whiskey, you need to go there. And they're doing God's work as far as when it comes down to it.
It's cool to get some of the attention shined on Michigan. And those guys have really done a fantastic job. When you go there, I mean, just when we were there for the last thing, I mean, you look at all the different states' license plates for the lineup. That's insane.
Well, it's like the day when we were standing out there, and what was it? The DNR guy drove by in his car, and I'm standing. He goes, "What's going on?" Because all those cars road, and you were back at your car putting stuff in your car, and I was down getting stuff for you, and
he didn't even know it was there.
He goes, I didn't even know any of this was here, and I was telling him, oh yeah, they're open on Thursdays and Fridays, and I said the first Saturday and last Saturday of the month, blah blah blah. He goes, well, I'll have to bring my friends back here. He's here in a patrol car.
Yeah, I remember seeing that truck too.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I was like, okay. So I ended up telling the guys that, and they go, oh well, hopefully he brings his guy. I said, well, you never can.
You want to make friends
to have law enforcement on your side. That's right. So, anyway.
All right. So I'll tell you what. This, Danny, if you're still in chat, this Magnus 320 is quite a bit better than the Magnus that I've got on my shelf. It's to me, it's like tobacco and orange and leather with like a vanilla blast in the middle. Um, it's not the biggest finish, but it feels viscous. So it's a really solid pour. So appreciate the sample, buddy.
So you think
Told
that
you.
one's better than the one that the bottle?
You cut out there, Mark, your audio.
Oh, do you think that is a better pour, what he sent you as a sample, than the bottle that you have?
Then the OCD. Yeah,
No, no, no,
this
no,
man
no, 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 no. Oh, I thought you were talking. I thought you were talking the Joseph Magnus. I thought that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, the only two pours I've had so far is this Magnus cigar batch 320, and then the OCD. The OCD is a real nice opener. It's not on the level of the cigar blend Magnus.
No, that's what I was gonna say. I think the Joseph Magnus is a better pour than the OCD bottle.
Yeah, I want to say the proofs on these are usually a little bit higher. This one's 109, which isn't that different from the 106 here for the OCD, but it feels way more viscous. It way more heft to it than the OCD. So it's probably it's got to be that age and the finishes. But yeah,
can I ask you a question, Tom?
Yeah, you go for it.
Have you tried the Walleye, their cigar batch one?
You know, I've got it. I have not opened it.
And so I saw it, and because the one I grabbed, the last one I grabbed, I found at Meyer, and it's their double barreled one, and it's pretty good. But I passed on the cigar batch a couple of times. The only reason I pass on it because one of the first things that's listed on the linging off the bottle, it says Amberana, and that's Amberana's fine.
We grab it real
as long
quick.
as it's super mild. Why I'm here, Tom.
Yeah, so I'm not the biggest Amberana fan.
Click on the like button for Tom because he's awesome.
There you go. Yeah, the cigar batch. Yeah, I just picked this up and I didn't even crack it yet.
Okay, so you did get one. You
finished in a blend of Amberana, Armagnac, and Sherry. So yeah, hopefully the Armagnac or the Amberana doesn't drown everything else out.
Right. Because the other two I'm fine with. Is the Amberana part. It gets to a point where it's so small. I just can't do it. It was a couple months back. I was over at Evernorth, and the gentleman that does blending for Traverse City Whiskey Company was there, and he kind of did some stuff on his own. That he did his own blending with some whiskeys he had and stuff, and he put a little bit of Amberana in it. Yeah, it was so faint, but it was perfect. Because of that.
I'm gonna try this.
It wasn't overpowering, and that's why I kind of was curious if you had tried it.
I'm gonna try it right now. So Tim says the Walleye Double Barrel is really good. I have some thanks to Tom. Tim actually won that in one of the streams recently, and yeah, I like that one too, Tim. Right? It's a pretty solid pour. Now this is interesting to me. This cigar batch rye, because I don't know that I've had any cigar batch ryes.
I have not, and that's why I was kind of waiting to see some reviews on it because I hadn't heard anybody buying it yet. So here we go. Tom's doing it.
So as far as I'll tell you what, as far as the giveaways, one of the flights that I can do is going to be a flight of the walleyes. I got a handful of them. I got the regular one, the double barrel that Tim just mentioned, the cigar blend, and then this single barrel pick, which I haven't even cracked yet. So that'll be one of the giveaways, is a flight of Walleye Run Rye.
Was that the single barrel pick from the Bourbon Junkies?
No, I didn't get that one because I got this one like 2 days before that one dropped.
Okay. All right. So I was just curious because a bunch of people got picks of that, here.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of these this year.
Yeah.
Mark.
Okay.
I think they're picking up steam, and then as far like a vogue pick for groups is going to be Walleye Run.
Yeah, it's all about Michigan whiskey these days.
Well, a few things have gotten traction. Obviously Evernorth, with the picks, but I think Walleye Run, through New Holland is picking up steam. I think they kind of got a lot of momentum last year too. All right, so this now to me these the New Holland product lines, the Dragon's Milk Origin all the way through to these Walleye Rise, they seem to have a very similar like backbone to me, and it's the fruitiest profile out there for me. Now these all hit me like that, that Hawaiian Punch, that tin can that we had when we were kids, Mark. That I take a sniff, I get that right away. So you want to wonder, you want to know, does the Amberana overpower it? Nope. I still get that.
So you get more fruit off that than you do like a Buffalo Trace product.
Oh, way. Yeah.
Because Buffalo Trace products tend to have like this fruit cocktail kind of smell to them.
I get like a cherry vibe through a lot of the Buffalo Trace stuff. This is just Hawaiian Punch.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean I'd have a hard time picking this out as a cigar blend out of the other Walleye. Okay. I'll tell you what, that profile does blend well with the finish. The different casks, and maybe to me it's the sherry cask that I think is kind of coming through on the back end and the finish. And
okay, so you're picking up sherry more. You're picking up sherry more than you are the Amberana.
Oh, for sure. At least right now.
That's good to know because I love sherry finish stuff.
Yeah.
So that's good to know. See, you helped me out. There you go. Now I gotta go drop another $80 and buy another bottle.
Maybe the Amberana is just a little bit of the blend. I don't know. But yeah,
okay.
I think it's Gary tells me the fruitiness, this profile is because it's pot distilled. And
true. Yeah.
Whatever they're doing, I mean, it is consistent across all of the products, and it does really mesh well with these finishes. So I think I'm digging this more than I like the double barrel.
Okay, good to know. And like you said, I trust Gary. He's got a great palate, and he picks up on things, and it's just like, yeah. So, okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth the pickup, Mark.
All right. Okay, with all that, love you, man. Thanks for having me on. And I got to get to bed because I still got to get up and go to work tomorrow. I took today off.
All right, brother.
I felt like crap, but I'm doing better. So
I appreciate you checking in. Good talking to you as always, and I hope you feel better, man.
Oh, really quick, I got the Wayne State hat on.
There we go.
My daughter bought it for me. She goes, "You got to have a Wayne State hat." Anyway, just made me think of it. I threw it on. Anyway, love you, brother. Thanks for everybody putting up with my shit.
Take care, anytime, brother.
All right, bye.
All right, go Tartars. Tim, I was just going to mention that to Mark a moment ago. When I went there in the mid 90s, they were the Tartars, and I think they were just transitioning into the Warriors. Is that what they are now? The Warriors? So to me, when I see that logo, I immediately think Tartars, and I know that's it's not the case anymore. Try some work. Okay. All right. So who asked about single malts? Roger, right? Somebody did. I want to say it was Roger. Yeah, I'm a Scotch guy. From before I got into bourbon, so I like single malts. As far as the American single malts, there's still not a ton that I've tried. I do enjoy some of the ones that I've had. Some have been really funky, and they're all over the place in terms of flavor profiles for me. Anyway, and a perfect example is New Riff, which is one of my favorite brands, and one of the first American single malts that I tried was their 2023 American single malt. I think it was their first one, which I thought was just amazing. And then I've got the 24 uh, American single malt from New Riff as well, and it tastes nothing like it. In fact, I want to say Marty put it in a blind flight that we did, a couple of months ago, and we couldn't even figure out if it was, uh, bourbon or rye, or we couldn't even figure out what it was. We thought maybe it wasn't even whiskey. It was just that the flavor profile was that far out of whack. Speaking of, cheers, Marty.
Hey, buddy.
There you go.
See what we get here.
All right. Travis, yeah, Cedar Ridge. I think the consensus is they might be putting out the best American single malts. Is that a fair statement? Can we say that? And I think that
against it.
Yeah, the Quintessential is one of the few single malts I like. I remember JG brought a few of those to the Bardstown meetup, and I thought they were fantastic. Yeah, I do think that Cedar Ridge is one of the American single malts that I will gravitate towards.
Tom, when I send you those samples, I'll send you a sample of that Bear Fight single malt. I think it's spectacular. You know me, I'm kind of weird when it comes to different things like that. And this thing, Kurt SLB drinks 101. I sent him one. The Bourbon Van, Phil and Julie's already drank all theirs. So I kind of hope Kurt kind of does a little review on it and see what he thinks. But we'll see.
Well, Tim, I just saw this comment. I just saw the guys from Whiskeyland just made their own blend from Mammoth. Okay, I really like how they produce their videos. Yeah, those guys they put out great content. I mean, it looks like a TV show when you're watching it. They are really talented. So that's one of the channels that I've been watching recently as well. I know that they've got some Michigan connections, particularly with Mammoth. I didn't know that they had their own blend, so I would definitely be interested to check that out.
Will O'Neill, my man.
Will, is he in the house? All right.
Travis.
Well, good to see this wonderful. Hey, well, good to see you, brother. Cheers, man.
I know we got Tim Cornet. Did you see my comment on your picture with Dan and Sean? I couldn't help it. I'm just trying to be funny. Tim Cornet made Dan and Sean look real good in the picture.
I saw that as well. And Tim, that store that sponsored that dinner, is that pretty close to you? That Bernstein or whatever it is?
Yeah, that looked really cool.
I've never been there, but I follow them on social, and they've got just a shit ton of store picks there. Will O sighting. Cheers, my friend. Yeah, I remember meeting Will. It was just for a few minutes, but what a nice dude.
Dude, you're talking about a good Christian dude. That's him, man. I love Will. Me and Will go way back on Whiskey Tube.
Yeah, just a straight up nice dude, man. And I remember meeting him and talking to him. I think he brought, maybe it was a hard truth pick or something to the share, and we sat. And
I don't care. Yeah.
He did. I think that
was it.
Boy, this is really good, Marty. And I just cracked this. It's a Walleye Run cigar blend rye.
Never had a cigar blend rye.
I never have either. I didn't know such a thing existed, but it does, and it's pretty dang good.
Well, you know what? No, it's American light whiskey. There's the RY3s that are out. I think they may have a rye blend, but they're basically American whiskey. This is light whiskey. I'm sorry, light whiskey. I think they're cigar blend. There's one up the road about an hour from here of this. It's a 16-year. No, you can't really see this one. It's a cigar blend, and it's 100 and, well, I guess technically the proof is, what was it, 72. It's crazy. It's high, and they want like $90 for it. And if they'd put the daggone thing on sale, I would buy it so we could throw into everybody's samples that, me and you and Hawken, we all do for each other. Talk about messing with you. Throw that thing in there.
I've only had one rye 3, Marty, and it was it was a toasted barrel rye finish from Whiskey Row. Okay, it's a good bottle.
Yeah, this is. I've already gotten. I've killed. Me and Rob both had the. Might have been sherry finish. I can't remember. Greg might have had it too. He might still be in chat. But this is. I don't know who the hell this is bottled for. I don't know.
I don't know
this
that.
This is a 14-year light whiskey, 127 6.6. So this will be a bottle kill shortly.
All right, so Josh Fritz says, was hanging out with Whiskeyland TV's dad, Craig, and Uncle Tim a day before Evernorth's anniversary. Really great, good people. Now, Josh Fritz, I had a bone to pick with you while I'm thinking about it. You said you were there and you saw me. You didn't say hi. You didn't introduce yourself or say, hey, I'm Josh or anything like that, did you? So, I wish you would have, man, because I always see you in these chats. I always say hello to you. You always seem like one of those dudes that I want to meet. So, if you saw me, you didn't say anything, well, you know what? Next time you speak up, all right, man?
Okay.
All right, let's see. Where is Tim on here? Okay, so Tim, you're going to be on the 21090 Evernorth pick. You are going to have a blast, and if I can offer you any advice, it is to pace yourself.
Don't listen to Todd and Andy. That's the best advice.
Well, no. One is to pace yourself. Don't drink everything that Dan puts in front of you. And you don't have to try. You don't have to try everything that they drill into. I went with.
Don't listen to Tom. He knows he's been there, but don't listen to him. Yes, try everything. Get a wheelchair. Have a bucket.
Yeah, fortunately, my son was there, so he could drive home. But boy, I felt like I had to taste everything and try everything, and oh my goodness, was I destroyed later.
Travis has a good point down there, Tom.
What a fun time for one. So you're gonna have a blast, Tim. But yeah, definitely pace yourself, and I'm gonna be down there on another group's pick in May. So hopefully I've learned from my rookie venture last year with Jason and Scott and Gary Franchi. All right.
Dude, you remember? Hey, Tom, was it 2 weeks ago? You had Brandon on.
Right? Yes.
Yeah, you remember I was in chat and he said something about his family or his ancestors, whatever, are from this little place called Cripple Creek, Virginia.
He did mention that, and I remember you said something about it too, right?
Dude, that's where my entire mom's family is from, and it is a small. I grew up there of trout fishing, deer hunting. That blew me. I've never heard anybody else outside of my family ever mention that place. And I about fell over. I'm like, holy hell, somebody knows about this.
You never know, right?
No,
and
you don't.
I had talked to Brandon really briefly in passing at Evernorth and at some of these events, and he's been in chat a couple of times, and he just seems like a really nice dude. I'm like, what? I bet you'd make for a really interesting guest. And boy, I was not wrong. I mean, he's just a fountain of interesting information, and that was one of the most fun I've had on a live stream. You never know what you're getting into, right?
Well, thanks a lot. But I agree with you.
So, but no, I just felt like I mean, as somebody I hadn't really known,
I know what you're saying.
I thought that was interesting as heck and really great.
Speaking of live streams, I've gotten so much great feedback from Greg Keeley, from Larrick and what me and you both screw it up. But
but that was an odd stream because we thought he wasn't making it, and then
and then Chris Tats started texting him and stuff, and see Tats
saved the day.
Yeah. But I mean, dude, he told me he's not had that much fun in a long time. It made his day. I don't know what happened. I know he said multiple times that he had a shit day, but that really. And I was like, so I've talked to him a couple times through email and stuff, and gave him mine and your address to stay in touch with everything. And so that just really tickled me that he enjoyed that. I think that's good. So guys, like Tom was talking about earlier in the show, if you do go back and watch it, I'm not trying to push you towards it, but skip the first hour.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, skip the first hour, because me and Tom are trying to talk through these, and we kind of need his help to talk about what these barrels are and stuff. I mean, we can give you notes all day, but then when he gets on, we kind of do it again and learn about him. It's great. We had a good time. Sorry. But yeah, skip the first hour.
There you go. Josh, I just saw your comment. You were doing the bottles. Yeah, I pretty much got the bottles and I had to run. But yeah, next one of these events that we're both going to, let's connect and have a pour, brother.
Fritzy,
But yeah, that was an
I-
interesting stream because yeah, I mean, I thought it was okay with the two of us just kind of drinking through and talking about their
Yeah.
products. You know, we had their website pulled up and it was interesting, I thought. And then
Yeah, we did good.
when we got Greg, yeah, I mean, he's a super interesting dude, fun to talk
yeah.
to. And like I said earlier in this stream, what I thought the coolest thing about Greg was is his attitude and how humble he was. It's like,
You know
yeah,
what? Something just popped in my head, which is really, really scary for most people watching, as you all know. But you know what? If we're in that same Bardstown area or, south of Louisville for the Mashing Journey, we should have something there.
I looked at where they are on the map, Marty. They're closer to Lexington.
Well, they're right there. Like everybody's going to, if you go to the meetup, you're going to go to Wild Turkey or Four Roses. Probably it's 30 minutes from where we stayed.
Was it?
'Cause
Okay.
I did it. I drove it.
You know, I would be interested now more than before
Sure.
of heading over there and
Travis,
going
400
to
yards.
chat
What do you
with
say? 400 yards or something?
Yeah, Travis, there you go. They are right outside Wild Turkey. Yeah, I think Greg's
He's a
words
par
were
five. That's what we called it. A par five away.
he's a Tiger Woods drive away from Wild Turkey. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Or maybe Tiger Woods in his prime, not Tiger Woods now.
I'm sipping through these
maybe a
big
Happy
ones.
Gilmore drive from.
Yeah. Top Jimmy went yesterday. Greg, he said Greg wasn't there and they didn't expect him, but I guess he must have slept in because he told us he should have been there. Right. Yeah. Right. Top Jimmy.
Will says he went to Turkey and Four Roses when they were there in Bardstown. You know, Will, I went to Four Roses, but I went to, I don't know what they even call it. It was like a little gift shop not far from like Jim Beam. But I've been to that Four Roses campus.
Okay, there's a couple Four Roses. There's one that where all the warehouses are that you actually do the barrel picks there. When I did my Four Roses pick, that's where you went. And then you've got the big one up on the hill on the other side of the interstate from Wild Turkey and Larrikin that has the beautiful gift shop. Hell, Tom, when I went to that gift shop after I left Turkey when we were at the Blitz, right before I went to meet you all at Heaven Hill, hell, they had 2 single barrel Four Roses behind the counter. But
I think I grabbed one of them.
Did you? Okay, I forgot about you. You told me that.
You know, we did a little bit of driving around, not too much that trip, but earlier in the summer for Father's Day, I went down there and the main gift shop had like a tier 5 and a tier 6 pick that were killer.
Yeah.
So I grabbed a few of those. I love the Four Roses picks, especially if I can get them, for $99 and not what they charge up here, which is like $120.
That stuff, man. I was telling Rob and Greg, I don't know, a few weeks ago that there's always been a few bottles up until last year that I would never walk past, and one of them was a Four Roses barrel pick or single barrel strength, and I probably saw 5 last year, 6, and I just, after tax and all, they're $120, and I'm like, God Almighty, guys.
Yeah, that's pricey.
If you look at the pick and you look at the regular single barrel and you do the price, it's double.
Yeah, I can get on board for $99 if it's like a 10, 11 year, barrel strength and it's a hitter, right? But if you're going to charge me, $120 for a store pick that's a tier 1 or a tier 2 at 105 proof.
Yes, Stymie.
Stymie, you said it. That porch at Four Roses is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, like that kind of wraparound veranda that kind of looks down the hill. It's a really nice looking campus, and I think that might be one of the places that we go and do a tour later this year.
That's not a bad idea.
That's one of the best. That's one of the best. Okay, so Paul says Travis and I hit every Kroger, Costco, and liquor store between Louisville and Bardstown that weekend. Didn't make it to Turkey. Well, what the heck were you looking for, Paul? Is there something that was released that you were looking for?
Kroger's first place in is Elizabethtown when we were there that I ever found the first Four Roses single barrel I ever bought. I still have it. Hell, I had it for 2 years before I cracked it. I was scared to open it.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. I think that might be one of the places we do a tour for when we go down this year, Tiffany.
Found some
Down to
gems.
JD12. Okay, so Paul P, everything. Okay, I found some gems. Well, Paul P, I guess you know what you're doing, man. I didn't have that much lined up. We hit a few of the bigger places, and I did more damage than I needed to, just to hit them places.
Hey Tom, this Bushmills, I'll give you a quick little rundown.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think it's good. It's light. I think it got that sweet sugar that I get from a lot of these Irish. This was finished because Gunderstruck told me a lot about it. It's finished in a bourbon barrel, so it's got great color. It's got good viscosity. It's not going to knock you. To me, it tastes like a redbreast, but I am nowhere near a 4-leaf whiskey or Eric Gunderston Irish whiskey guy. So, but
Yeah.
I do like it. I do like it. I think.
Okay.
All
right. So for the price of admission, it's worth the ride.
I think so. Just to have
Right.
one, because I haven't bought an Irish whiskey probably in 3 years.
I'm right there with you. It might even be longer for me.
Yeah. So if anybody, it's this. I don't know if you can see it. It's the Peaky Blinders, and you can see the
There you
dude.
go. That's the cool bottle.
Yeah, it's nice. It's worth having it, and it's cool. I think
And
so.
you know,
90 proof, so 92 proof. Sorry, non-chilled filtered. So there you go.
yeah. So
Prohibition
Bushmills will always
recipe.
have a special place for me because that's the first bottle that I bought and actually finished on my own and realized, geez, I might be a whiskey guy. Okay, so Will, are you bullshitting here? I think Paul P. Travis and I might be getting chauffeured in a limo the next trip. There just might be room. You guys do seem like ballers, so I guess I wouldn't put that out of the question. I think Ty will like Four Roses. Yeah, I think we all would. I think that's going to be a place that we probably try to set up a tour in some time at. We got Tyler's 21st coming up in a few months, Marty. So that should be fun.
I know you talk. Well, you know what? We need to talk about that because, yeah, I'd like to show up for a day or so, maybe.
Well, we're trying to figure out when we're going to go down.
You and Tiffany and Tyler, don't worry about it. But I can.
Well, the thing is that it's in September, and we know that we want to go down if they're going to do another Bardstown Blitz.
Okay.
So we haven't booked anything, so we're kind of waiting to see when that's going to be. Assuming he's going to do it again this year. But because we had so much fun down there and meeting everybody, that's something that we would want to try to do again.
Yeah, Penelope Rio. They had Rio here, Greg, and I missed it. I wasn't paying that. Yeah, it was not. He told me it was $90. They had it here in Anger. Well, that's why I actually went in there to get this, Greg, and I saw the Penelope Rio box.
All right. Well, I like your attitude, brother. Not how much you make, it's who you know.
That's right. You can't shit the bird that carries a turd in his pocket, and I got 2 pockets.
All right. Greg says he was at a local ABC store today. They had Penelope Rio batch 2, $90. I said no, thank you. 90 plus. Yeah, Rio is what is that? Amberana and something else? Yeah,
it was Amberano, and I think it was
Rum?
Finished. What was it? The second barrel of it was Amburano, and then it was I can't remember. It's weird.
Greg,
honey,
let us know.
Maybe honey. I'm thinking maybe it's a honey.
Yeah, it's honey in Amberana.
Is that it? Oh yeah, Greg and Travis. So yeah, guys, if y'all can't see here, I've got the damn TV going too. So I'm outside. So
I've never tried Rio, Marty, but I've got a sample of the Havana.
Did I send you a sample? I sent you a sample of the Estate, didn't I?
Yes, I like that one.
I thought it was
a really good pour.
I thought so too. And if I saw it again, I'd buy that bottle again.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've lately I've seen a lot
Havana's
of
the rum, Stymie said. Okay.
Havana's rum and maple.
That's right. The maple. That's the one that threw me.
So I'm told by my buddy who sent me this that this is sickly sweet and I'm not going to like it. So we'll see.
Will O'Neill. Yeah. That poor guy. He's trying his best to get 100,000 subs. It's funny, Will. Hey, Will, it's funny that you said that because I thought about something funny I could do to him. It was like, if we go back, I'm going to take 2 little Santa hats and I'm going to put Mary in one and me in another and take a picture, and that'll be our Christmas card.
All right, we got trouble here.
Yep.
Where?
Thanks for having me.
Where? Where?
How you doing, John?
Good. I just wanted to say cheers to you guys. Happy Friday before I go outside to the fire pit.
I'm kind of surprised, John. I didn't expect you.
What?
Because you told me last night it was a fire pit Thursday, and I'm glad you came on for a minute.
Yeah, Renee's out there, and I tried to click on out there, and I couldn't see it all. So I said, I'm just gonna go in, say hi to these guys, thank them again for the other night, and that's it.
Yeah.
Say cheers.
Hey, John, I just went through the Green Rivers.
Well,
I love 2, but I am very happy with 6.
Okay.
So
open up the blind because I believe.
I did. I've already done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
2 was
so
easy.
Josh.
Yes.
Josh. There was a guy in here earlier, Keith, who says the Penelope 17 year is his whiskey of the year so far. So take that for what it's worth. It sounds like something that you at least want to try. Danny, as far as what estate are we talking about? We're talking about Penelope. What is it? Penelope 10 or Penelope 9?
Estate Collection.
Estate Collection.
Yeah, I think that's the name of it.
And
Danny,
that's different than
it's an 8-year. I can't remember the proof. Tom drank it a while back.
You know what's interesting is you sent me that sample, Marty, and I think Paul did also. I think I've got a second one up here somewhere.
Well, let Danny have the other one.
You know what? If I still have it, I'll give it to him. Yeah. Penelope Estate Collection, 9-year, 101.2 proof, right?
9-year, yeah. Sorry, I said 8, 9-year, yeah.
And I think you sent me a sample, and then I was going through these ones that Paul sent me. It's the same one, so I got 2 of the same. So
All right,
yeah,
good.
Danny, I'll tell you what, I'll send this your way, buddy.
I'm interested to see what Danny thinks of that because me and you both thought it was very good. It's a very easy sipper with a lot of weight on it.
Yeah, that's the thing that stuck out for me was the heft. Like it felt more substantial than the 101 proof.
Mm-hmm.
I accept. Yeah, I know we did twist your arm, right?
Top dog, you disconnect the engineer from internet.
Came in the house and wouldn't come over.
So when you and Renee are at the fire pit, does him and his wife make their way over, or is it just you and Renee?
It all depends. It's split. Sometimes like we enjoy going to his fire pit because he has a real fire, but he's always dependent on weather and wind. So tonight's a little bit windy night. Usually Thursday nights is when they stay in and watch a movie because that's usually me and Brian drink Thursday evenings. But I was busy this afternoon, so I couldn't. So,
right.
All right.
So me and the wife are. I'm gonna try to get if I don't get your treats out tomorrow, I'm gonna get them out Monday for sure.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I think you'll like those.
All right. So Will asks, did I go to New Holland to get the walleye runs? No, Will, I did not. They're pretty widely available here in Michigan now. The cigar batch just hit about last week. The double barrel was a few weeks before that. This one that I haven't opened yet is actually a single barrel pick from Stuff and Whiskey. So that one
where
is,
I'm sitting from, that thing is as dark
online.
as your shirt.
Yeah, I agree.
Which one is dark? This one here?
The one you just picked up. The wall. Yeah, that one.
You know, that's interesting that you say that. From my angle, it looks about the same as the cigar batch. but I know that the bulk of the coloring on this one is black. So I wonder if that has to do with like the lighting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little bit darker. It's a lot higher proof. I mean, this one is 123.2 proof, whereas the cigar is 105.
So
Wow.
they're so. Let me just mute my phone.
No,
So
you're all right. You're all right. Don't do
it's
that.
It's Travis. Um,
My man.
so New Holland also does Walleye Run.
Yes.
Okay.
So Josh, Tom, cigar batch info, please. 105 proof, aged 7 years, like the rest of the walleyes, it seems. It is aged 7 years in char 3 barrels, finished in a blend of Amburana, Armagnac, and sherry casks. And what I'll tell you is the flavor profile is it's really fantastic. The first 2-3 sips, it was like that Hawaiian punch vibe with the like the sherry finish. That was kind of in the forefront. As I'm finishing the pour, Josh, I'm getting a little bit of that Amburana at the end. So there is some of that in there. It's not overpowering, and it is at the very end of the experience as opposed to just like drowning out every other flavor that
See,
you
that
might
doesn't
get.
scare me. That the only bottle of Amburana finish I have is a Starlight cigar batch that I bought last April in Mississippi at a store, and I, if that's the only thing you're drinking that night, it's not terrible. But if it's not overpowering and it's just like you said, Tom, a little bit of it at the end, I think that sounds pleasant. I really do.
It is, you know what? And as far as the
Okay,
three
Will.
that I've tried so far, like the base walleye, the double barrel, and the cigar is my favorite. Now, Will says you're in New Buffalo quite often. Are you going up there for the releases on the 22nd? I don't think so. I'll be honest, Will. I don't know where New Buffalo is. I've heard
It's a
of
little
it. I
bit
don't think it's
north of Old
terribly
Buffalo.
far, but I've not been there.
Marty just flipped me off.
I saw that. It was very subtle, though, John. It
You
wasn't
saw
like
that though, right?
I saw it. It was kind of passive aggressive.
Yeah.
John, are these the ones you're finding at Dollar Tree?
No, those are the ones from Amazon.
Okay. Me and Tom
All right,
need to
so-
go with these for a while. These are killer for they're thick.
For outside.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah.
I don't want glass for outside because I know I'm going to drop it.
Well, this
All right,
one
yeah,
this
everyone
will
will
probably take the lick. Got you, Will. Thank you, buddy.
All right, so Fritz wants to know about the higher proof one. Well, let's get into it because I've not had a walleye pick yet. These are substantially higher in proof than the
Marty,
rest
a
of
logo one up, and I'll put it in his box.
these. And I will give away a flight of walleyes. So there's 4 of them that I've got total. So it's a pretty solid flight.
The
All right,
New
so-
Holland, probably 9 years ago, if not more, when I lived in Chicago, is when they first came out with their bourbon, and I was still a beer drinker. And I remember
never
picking
tried
up a bottle of that bourbon because we were drinking Bourbon County Stout, and we think our Dragon's Milk all the time. And I said, we got to get it. And me, Renee, and my friend Adam, I remember, drank half that bottle in one night. And that's, the original OG ones back then that they were putting out. I don't even know if it was their own stuff back then.
Yeah, I think it's always been. What's interesting, John, is I was a big craft beer nerd before I got into whiskey.
Yep.
And
me
New
too.
Holland, I think they're the 3rd biggest brewery here in Michigan, but I really never liked their beer. They'll occasionally have something that I thought was decent, but as far as the different brands here of
Yep.
beers here in Michigan, it was definitely not in my top 10. So I think that like maybe subconsciously I was like, well, their whiskey's probably not
Yep.
that good either. And so it wasn't even until like maybe last year that I even tried it, maybe 2 years ago. But when I first tried it, I was really surprised because I'm thinking, okay, well, here was this beer brand that I didn't think was that great.
Yep.
And it's what they're known for, but their whiskey is just killer.
And I was the opposite because I probably still have a case of Dragon Milk Stouts around this house because I mean we were buying all of them and drinking
Oh,
them
yeah.
back in the day. And you
We
remember Ballast Point?
Do they still
Yeah.
make that?
When they put out,
they were out in California, and then they sell out to like Constellation or something.
something like that, but
They were big IPAs.
they put out a bourbon called Devil's Share. If you still on the shelf, but I think they're owned by Budweiser now. But Devil's Share is a real good bourbon.
Ballast Point whiskey.
Back in the day, put out Devil's Share bottle.
Huh.
I'll send you guys a picture of it probably tomorrow, so I don't have to go dig it out. But that one was real good at the time too.
All right, so Stymie says Founder's Breakfast Stout was my favorite. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's still an excellent
Three
beer.
Three
I don't drink them often,
Yeah.
but I can imagine that smell and that taste of that Founder's Breakfast Stout, and it's a good memory.
Roger, I've got those. They're like metal whiskey glasses. We use those at the tailgate and stuff for NC State and at Tennessee. I can't remember the name of them, but I've got two. I've got one that's black and one that's got kind of like a wood look to it.
I got those also.
You know what I'm talking about, John? You know what I'm talking
I
about?
don't know where I got them. Those are like years ago. They're probably behind my door in my pantry, but we got them for the same thing. I remember
Yeah.
a while back.
And
My wife has no glass by the pool, and
Yeah.
I wiped once and shattered a Glen all over the place and cut myself up. So since then we use the metal cups with the covers outside.
When I went to Key West, I bought a little mug that looked like a Stanley mug, and I thought it was only like a 2-ounce pour. So every time I went to the bar, I'd bring that with me, and the guys didn't know any different. They pour it to the top. When I get home and measured it, it was a 4-ounce one. So I was getting, one shot pour. It was actually 4 ounces or whatever,
Oh my
or
goodness.
a regular pour. I didn't know
That
until the end.
That makes for a short night.
It did. I was there for Fantasy Fest. It was still a long night.
Holy
right,
hell,
so-
I'm reading. Read what
so
Will
Tim-
O'Neill said.
Tim says New Holland has a special whiskey release on March 22nd. So Tim, what are
All
they
right, Tim.
releasing? I've not heard anything about this.
I got Will O'Neill on top of that one.
All right, and 1 hour south of South Haven. 1 hour south of South Haven isn't that Indiana?
I don't know. That's your
'Cause South Haven is on the extreme west coast of coast. I mean, I guess you call it that, of Michigan.
Roger's got the black and wood grain. Okay.
I would use dragon's milk and a pinch of rosemary to make beer nuts for the bar. Actually, that sounds pretty good, actually.
Damn right it does.
Does.
How we doing on entries, Tyler? Let me know if me and John need to add more to it.
I don't have Venmo. You know I don't have none of those paid services.
Yeah, I'm still not monetized, dude. I'm
Yeah.
You got to have a certain amount of watch time, and we don't crank out enough of the videos to get there.
don't-
We'll get there eventually, but
Well,
but when
tomorrow
you do,
I'll put you
you're
out of
giving-
my garage on loop.
it'd take a bit more than that, John. But I
Okay.
appreciate it.
They yank 30% of what you.
Josh, I've heard of Clag, and I think
Never had.
you tell me if I'm wrong, Josh, but isn't Clag crazy little Asian guy brewing in Ohio? And I heard he puts out killer stuff.
Sandusky, isn't that where Tommy Boy lives?
Yes.
Thought so. They make the brake pads that are
Cheers
killer.
to that. Yeah, they got good brake pads. And the whole new factory. Callahan Auto Parts, I think they got
Callahan, that's one.
Yeah.
I'll sit here trying my best to brainstorm that. Callahan.
Well, guys, I'm going to
Good
jump
look
back
at
down the
T-bone
fire.
steak if you stick your head up a bull's ass.
I'm going to
But you
jump
better
back
take
down the fire and get a refill.
All right,
And,
cheers, John.
I'll talk to you guys again.
Hey, thank you,
soon.
John. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Talk
Cheers,
to you
buddy.
later.
Hey John, call me before Tuesday.
Okay.
Little producing action for you.
Okay.
Yep. Gotcha.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
All right,
Bye.
All right,
buddy.
cheers, John. Have a good night, brother. All right, right off the border of Indiana. Okay, that tracks, Will, because I was going to say you drive an hour south of South Haven, you got to be in a different state. Yeah, this Fritz, if you're still listening, this single barrel pick from Stuff and Whiskey, it's the flavor profile that you know from walleye, but it's a monster in terms of like the finish and the back end. So that proof makes a huge difference, as you probably would expect.
Has it got good mouthfeel, viscosity? Has it got a little oil to it? Because it's stated a little bit.
It is good, man. I'll tell you that much. I mean, it's malted rye, which to me seems to give it a little more of a creamy mouthfeel.
See that?
And again, their profile to me just hits that like Hawaiian punch. It's like a very thick on the palate, maybe a little bit of honey, but it's like peach, cherry. You say stone fruit, which sounds stupid, but I mean, what they are. And just a monster finish. I mean, this is killer.
Good.
And I will put this in the flight. I've got the regular walleye, double barrel, the cigar blend, and then this single barrel pick. So that's a flight of 4 that will be one of the giveways here tonight.
Hey, Tom, before I forget, I need you to send me, Marty, did you get that? Yes, Will, I responded. Hey, Tom, when you can, send me an email with those questions that you asked me and Scott when we did that blind together about whatever was to get
for the game.
Yeah, because I want to kind of base what I send you all off those questions.
Okay. All right, I'll do that. I got them saved because I think I'm going to just keep them standard as I do some more of these. And I do actually have a guest lined up for my next stream in 2 weeks.
Good.
So hopefully that should be interesting.
Well, I hope it's not him.
No.
Okay,
somebody
good.
hasn't been on a channel before.
Somebody good. Okay, good. Yeah.
Greg's obviously Tommy Boy fan. Gotta love it. Dragon's Milk special release of the
Greg
Origin
McDonald
barrels.
is a legend.
Tim, I've got the one Origin toasted barrel that made its way out our way. I think it's like K or something. It's good. I like it. I don't know that I'd go all the way out to New Holland to get another version of it. I know people love those releases, if they're out that way. And the one that I've got, I do like. I don't know if I'd make a special trip out there for that. Unless there's a bunch of them or something else. I don't know.
So, Tom,
let me know if you're going to go.
What videos you got coming? What are you thinking about shooting?
All right. So we shot a couple last week that Tyler's editing. I did a monster of an Old Forester flight where I've got the 1910, 1920, 1924, and then single barrel picks. One is the Hunter Proofer and one is the barrel strength.
Okay.
And the winner will be a shocker.
Good.
I was surprised.
Good.
Yes.
Well, last night Jason's stream was a fucking shocker. Pardon me. But yeah, so I love shockers.
I didn't make it to the end.
Yeah, I get it.
And then what was the winner? Well, what did he have?
24D beat batch 12.
24D. Oh, that's Stag. See,
Stag Junior.
I that's all stuff I can't get. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, if this version of this thing you can't get is better than this version of this other thing.
I've got one from 23 and I've got one from 24. And I mean, goddamn, they're putting out 4 releases a year now, and I still not. It's a don't. There's other stuff. Don't.
I just can't get any of them, Marty. And if I want one, I got to pay $200. And
nope.
I'm not paying those secondary prices for Buffalo Trace. They can suck it.
Yeah, Kevin, back in 1st of February when him and Jenny, our best friends, Kevin and Christy, everybody knows Kevin. That Jenny's birthday is the 3rd, his is the 5th, and I think the 5th. So we always get together. They come here, and he texted me on his way here. He goes, "Hey, I stopped at a store here in Kingsport. They've got some Stag Junior. It's $100. Do you want any?" I said, "No, I'm good." But if I knew, I'd have done it for. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for 100, I would. I'd pull the trigger at 100.
Dude, I would do. I
think they're like 230 to 250 here.
No, I would do. I think guys in chat jump in. I think 120 to 130 max is fair. I mean, you're talking double MSRP because it's 65 MSRP.
Yeah, I mean, at MSRP, it seems it's probably underpriced, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can admit that.
Yep.
There you go, Travis. I think that's probably the baseline or the max that I would look at. $100.
Do you have you don't have any, or do you have a few?
Exactly, Josh. I mean, that's when I lose interest. It's like with some of these channels are doing like, what's the best bourbon of the year? Is it GTS or William LaRue Weller? It's like, what the fuck do I care? I can't get any of this shit anyhow.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's great. I can get a pour of it for about $50 at a local bar. That's about it.
Nah, I wouldn't pay that. I wouldn't pay 25. But I'm so tight I can squeeze a booger.
I'll tell you what, I will hand it to you guys down south. You have the most colorful metaphors that
yeah, we do. Pretty true on that. You're sexier than a tomcat in wool socks, that guy is.
Well.
What's going on, gentlemen?
You got a friggin' legend on here. What's going on, Danny?
You think? The Danielle.
Uh-oh. Did he go dark? There he is.
I'm trying to figure out my headphones.
Well, we can hear you. We can see you. What's going on, brother?
Ah, man, just Uber driving the kids around and just got back.
All right. Well, yeah, I enjoyed the heck out of that stag. Now my brain is on stag. I enjoyed the heck out of that Magnus 320. It's been a minute since I've had a Magnus. Are they usually around 109 proof? I thought they were higher.
They vary. The older batches were a lot higher.
Okay.
A lot of the newer batches are like, I've seen 104 to 110.
But for the proof point, I mean, it felt really heavy and substantial, and I enjoyed it.
Thanks, man. I told you it was really good.
Yeah, so small batches, mag or rares. All right. I was talking to Nancy last night, and I was telling her it's on the shelf here at an ABC store for $200, and she said, "I blended the shit, and I would tell nobody to pay more than $170."
I thought that was interesting because she's like, I want people to drink it, and I don't want it to sit there at museum prices. And there certainly are some places that it sits because they put it up too high. I mean, who wants to pay $250 for a bottle, right?
She said 170 max is what she told me. I can show you the text.
Yeah, I saw. I was in the chat. I saw that. I mean, here in Michigan, it's $199 as the state min, so it's not like I'm going to see it for 175. But
yeah,
what I don't like is seeing it at 250.
No,
that's just wrong.
No, that's a smack in the face, man.
Yep. I'm not going to spend $250 for a bottle. Come on.
Hey, Mr. Grisha, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How y'all doing tonight?
We're doing all right. We're hanging out, having some pours. Danny, you got to try some of these walleyes, brother. The cigar batch you're gonna like.
I don't know, man.
I know you don't love that New Holland profile with the Hawaiian punch, but I think you're gonna like this cigar batch. The sherry really comes through at the beginning, and then at the end, it's a little bit of the Amberana. But I think it's a really well put together blend.
I'm open to trying it, but you know what I just poured? What'd you pour?
So
I poured the Spaniard
Oh,
that you can get on Shared Pour. They sold out of it, and they just put it back on today. And I just ordered another bottle. It's the best finish, maybe the best finish of anything I've ever had.
That's Dancing Goat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I love their limousine rise, man. The French oak finished. I've gone through like 3 of them.
This
Nice.
Spaniard's crazy. 10-year corn whiskey,
Yeah.
finished in Spanish oak.
All right. So Danny,
Yeah.
gun to your head. You picking that one, or are you picking the Cedar Ridge double oak?
It's ironic you say that because today Todd Ritter put a post up that he was trying to dump 2 bottles, and one of them was the Cedar Ridge Double Oak, and I was like, I'll take that right now.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
problem.
you were super fan number 99 on that one.
I think I bought like 4 bottles.
Yeah, I remember.
Jeez.
It's a great bottle for sure, man.
Yeah, I don't know what I picked. This is a fantastic finish. They're 2 very different whiskeys, though.
I'm actually sipping a Scotch right now.
Good for you.
What you got?
Ardnamurchan. It's the cast strength Ardnamurchan.
I don't think I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Well, a little peaty, not too peaty. It's not like an Octomore or something like that, but it's quite good.
Yeah, when I
Goes
was
good with
getting
the
into
cigar.
the scotches, I was definitely more into the Islas, the smoky stuff.
Oh
I
yeah,
like that.
I'm
peat.
a peat fiend nowadays. I didn't used to be, but about a year and a half ago, I started getting into some of the peated stuff, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is what I like. This is so good.
Mhm.
But even then, I have a lot of different scotches now, and I still really like a lot of the scotches that are not peated. The
Yeah.
fruity versions, things like that. They're really good. Even some of the the lower proof stuff like 80 proof, 85, 90 proof, something like that range. They're quite tasty, and they have a nice long finish to them because being pot distilled,
Mhm.
versus column distilled.
Yeah, I think I gravitated more to Scotch when I was first getting into whiskey, and I think more of it had to do with the proof points and the finishes, and just finding out what whiskey could be. So the single malts, the Islas, the finished
Yeah.
stuff. There's a
Yeah.
lot of interesting things that whiskey can be, and that's what Scotch taught me.
Oh yeah,
But I think as I kind of got through a lot of the
I
single
was
malts,
raised in Western Kentucky, so it's I'm used to.
you're an
bourbons
outlier
and
if you're drinking any
rye.
kind of Scotch.
Yeah, exactly. And I
That's
didn't
why
back
he had
then.
to move to Texas. They threw him out.
Yeah, I didn't know about Scotch at all really until I moved down to Texas.
Yeah. They said, Mark, you got to get the hell out of here, man.
All
Yeah.
right. So have you guys had this Havana from Penelope?
Mm.
No.
What is
Okay.
it?
No, sir.
What is it?
So Havana it's a Penelope release. It's finished in maple and rum barrels.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm out on rum.
yeah, I think the consensus is you either love it or you find it way too sweet.
Is that the
Yeah.
one that's like syrup on the pancakes?
I don't know.
No,
This is the first
Rio.
time I've
That might be the
tried
Rio.
it. So I just poured it. I'm sniffing it,
That might be the
And I-
Rio.
and I'll tell you
Mhm.
what. I mean, this is a new glass, okay? And the first thing that I smell is Amberana, and it's because I was drinking the other one.
Oh,
That shit'll haunt you. You got to finish
It
with
does,
that.
it sticks with you, but then again, I'm
Stuck in your
thinking, what? I'm thinking rum and maple combined might kind of get you to the same place.
oh, okay. I can see that.
Because
I haven't had a lot of Ambrana finished stuff, so
you get
I'm
like
not
sweeter,
positive.
thicker notes. I mean, could be my palate sucks anyway. I mean, I don't know, but all right. So it does smell really sweet on the nose. All right.
I've got a trash palate, so
Yeah, I'm
Mark,
right there
that's
with you. I mean, I
Mark,
can tell you something's good or not, but I have a hard time pulling out the notes. You know what I mean?
I can pick up some of the bass notes that like slap you in the face. I can get that because I smoke cigars and cigarettes, so my nose is not that great. So it's got to be
What was your
fairly
weight?
stout for me to to come across. It hit me in the nose. Same thing with the palate for a degree. It's got to be pretty blatantly obvious for me to pick
All
up
right.
on it.
So Paul says you have to drink Amberana whiskey in a disposable cup so you can throw both out. Dude, it really kind of hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, he's
And
talking about a damn. What's he talking about?
it's
Solo
interesting
cup?
because Danny, since he's here, we've got a small circle of friends that we drink a lot of the same stuff, and we're passing it around. And when we first kind of discovered Amberana, we're like, dude, you gotta try this. You gotta try this. And it's a really interesting and sweet and different profile.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, you're like, wow, this is crazy. This is a game changer. And then as you get a little bit further down the line, you're like, wow, if I had anything that's Amberana, literally everything else that I try the rest of the night, that's all I smell, that's all I taste. Even if I get rid of my glass, it's like my palate is shot. It is Amberana and it's not going away.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's kind of like heavily peated stuff. Once you go to
I'll
heavily
tell you what,
peated
I don't
stuff,
even
you're
know
like,
that I
okay,
get
well,
the same. I think it's even more overpowering than the peated stuff.
really?
That
Okay.
I like Ardbeg and Lafroig, so
Yeah.
I get it, but boy, Amberana is just a different animal, and it's hard to tame.
Okay.
Yeah, the only way that I actually liked it towards the end of like any Amberana bottles that I had left was on a big block of ice when we got a swim spa for the kids. I'd chill in the swim spa with a big block of ice, and that's it. And it would be the closing pour, and I'm out. Like that's it.
Ah, gotcha.
Close
See
with
that?
it, never open with it.
Yeah.
Never open.
Yeah, that's the play.
Yep.
Ryes
I
work
understand.
better with Amberana. They just need to let it work for a day or two. Yeah, a little kiss of it, Travis. I don't necessarily mind. Like this, I like this cigar blend with just a little bit of it. But yeah,
I agree. I agree.
A
Actually,
little
'cause
bit goes
I
a
had
long way with Amberana.
Yeah, I had some rare character ryes that were Amberana finished, and I actually preferred those more than any of the other Amberana I had.
Like maybe the rye took it a little bit better. The spice,
Yeah, a little better bite. Yeah.
I think Crowded Barrel down here by me, Whiskey Tribe, those
Mhm.
guys, I think they had an Amberana barrel, and they finished the whiskey for maybe a couple of weeks, and it was like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
It was 2 weeks literally down here in Texas in the barrel, and like, okay, that's enough. Any more than that, and it's like it slaps you in the face. It
Yep.
overpowers everything, and all you taste is Amberana.
And you're not getting past it. Yeah.
You're not getting anything else but the Amberana finish. The whiskey doesn't taste like anything but that.
All right. So this Havana, I think at the prices I've been seeing, it's like either 90 or 100. No, I'm out.
Yeah.
It is really sweet. It's really thin on my palate. The only lingering finish I get is a little bit of like the maple sweetness. I don't. It's not something I really enjoy. I don't think I'd reach for it more than once or twice.
Gotcha.
So if you haven't had the Havana, it's not jerk approved. It's meh.
Good.
Meh.
I like that.
What about
Yeah.
Havana? What about Havana?
That's the one I'm talking about.
I know, I'm joking. You keep saying Havana.
Havana. I don't know. Tomato,
Havana.
what am I doing?
Hey, they make a
Well,
good
listen,
cigar.
After me and
Back in the
Tommy's,
day.
There you
after
go.
me and
I
Tommy's
hear they make
Tuesday
good
night-
cigars, so stick to that, I guess.
Yeah, after me and
Mhm.
Tommy's Tuesday night with our new Australian friend, we're lucky if we say anything correctly anymore.
Did you have any idea he was like Australian? I thought he was American.
Oh yeah, I did. Oh, I did.
I had no idea until he spoke. I was like, oh my god, he's Australian.
No, I did, and that's why when Chris and Lil Tats, when they come to America at least like once every year or every 2 years, they do
Yeah.
this huge month circle. They met up with Greg and met him at the distillery, So that's how the two Australian crazies got together.
Greg McDonald.
No,
Yeah.
Greg, shit.
Larkin.
Greg's
McKeely or Keely or something like that?
Keely from
Oh,
Larrikin.
okay. Oh,
Yeah,
I got you.
I'm definitely out on Havana, whatever. Nirvana,
Castro.
whatever it is. I'm out.
Gold jacket,
No,
green jacket.
it's
Who gives a
way
shit?
too sweet. I'm thinking I got to try something else to just get that taste off the back of my palate. I don't like that.
I gave
Hey,
Cat
Tom.
info the first time I went there. Okay.
Tom, the blank label for the samples was the Peerless what? Peerless.
That I gave you?
Pick? Yeah. Jason's pick?
If you got a Peerless sample for me, it was probably the double oaked.
I'll be back in
okay.
a few minutes.
I mean, I know I sent you the Jason's the M&J picks a while ago.
No. From the latest swap. It was
From the latest swap, if you got something that's Peerless, it's probably the double oak.
I don't know what it is. You didn't label it. It was the only one.
I told you when you
labeled.
came to see me what it was, and I probably
Dude,
forgot
that
by
was
now.
a week ago. I don't remember shit.
A week is a long time.
Oh.
I'll tell you what I
take
think.
notes, baby. Take notes.
Danny, it's the donuts. You know what I mean? The Driftless Glen.
Glen. Yep.
There you go.
Wow. Okay.
That's what it is.
Oh.
It's got a different
Okay.
kind of finish from the last one.
Yeah, right?
Like very candy. It's like candy
Yeah,
on the
it's got
back
a
end.
sweeter profile. It's like those to me are like super dark and thick. And I think that one had a pretty good age statement on it, if I'm not mistaken.
It smells better than a Peerless. That's why I was like, oh, it must be like a Peerless.
The Peerless that I've got are the M&J rye, the M&J bourbon, which are I didn't care for the rye, to be honest. The bourbon is okay, but then I've got the double oaked Peerless, like Shelfer, which I think is really good.
This is all I got left.
Of some of their stuff.
That's all I got
the
left.
Kenosha Kicker.
Yeah, I'm like saving it. I thought this was great.
Yeah, those are good, man. I've still got a little bit left of the one from the year before, even.
I got you talking M&J. You're talking Master Journey.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I got like there's a sample of the Nashville Barrel 9-year rye. I think I had something that was like strawberry something.
What was your what was your rye called? Did they give it a name?
Oh, there's a Master Journey Rebel Bougie Nights strawberry smoothie.
I've heard that's good.
Jeez, I haven't even heard some of these.
That's an older one.
Yeah, it's an older one. I got just a sample is all I've got of it.
Josh,
I got a whole drawer full of those samples.
Josh, what city are you in, buddy? Is it Evernorth's a good hour and a half from me, so I usually go for events or special releases.
There's a bunch of Evernorth at certain stores if you hit them up too.
Yeah, it looks like Dan made a trip out west today. So like in Kalamazoo, there was a few picks. Josh is in West Branch. Okay, so you're not too far from Midland by my recollection, right? That's not too. That's about a half an hour.
Perfect Jerk, where are you at?
I am in Shelby Township, which is about about 45 minutes. What am I, Danny? East of Detroit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Josh, you're 50 minutes. Okay, so yeah, I'm about a good hour and 40. I think the last time I made the trip was about $140 to get up there. So 50 minutes isn't too bad. I think Brandon says his drive home was like about 45 minutes or something. So it's not too bad. But yeah, I mean, the Evernorth is in like the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
So what's interesting is when I've been there, anybody that's getting off on the expressway, that's where they're going. You see all the different states' license plates. It's definitely wild to see 15 different states of people making that trip.
Tom, you'll appreciate this. So my buddy at work gave me this because I just got a bump with the gig.
Nice.
So he got me the Ben Steen pick. It's a 7-year Kentucky. So I guess it's Barton.
You know what? You'd have to take a look because what's interesting, I think Brandon just put out a spreadsheet to tell you what's what.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's a Green River or
could be
maybe
Green
a
River,
Barton.
okay.
I like Green
Right.
River. They're
Yeah,
putting out some good
dude,
stuff.
killer stuff.
They've put out some barrels from Green River that are better than Green River picks recently.
Really?
My palate, yeah.
Oh, dang.
Really? Better than the barrels for Hope pick? That's a sledgehammer, dude.
Yeah. I got one here that's a single barrel store pick. I think it's the Allen D's pick.
Really?
And it's 130 proof, Danny, like the others. And
Yeah.
Dang.
it's on par or better than the Green River picks that I've had.
Wow. I
gave
got the
Ruder-
regular, the foolproof, and the weeded. And the weeded is fantastic. It's really good.
All right, so Walker Hines, he says, Jerk, have you been to Mayor Pingree to taste their contract distilled rye from MGP? 7 years, close to hazmat.
He's talking
They
about
have a bunch of
Valentine.
distillery only special releases, mostly sourced from MGP. Walker, I'll tell you what. Valentine is what, Danny? About a half an hour from here.
Yeah.
I've been
Valentine's
there
elite.
for drinks a handful of times, and when I go there, I'll usually get a black label pick or a blue label pick, which are their older stock.
Yep.
We've
the red
got
label.
some banger ryes
Yep.
from Pingree, including
That's
the
good
one
stuff.
that I've got a few different bottles from. But it's actually their distillate. So they do source, but they do their own, and sometimes they blend, and sometimes they put out single barrels that are the MGP stuff. Sometimes they put out the single barrels that are theirs. So you kind of got to watch their the serial numbers on their labels.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Walker, I have been there. It's a fantastic place to go for a
It's awesome.
cocktail. And yeah, they do put out some of the best whiskey available here in Michigan. So yeah, I've done them, or I've done Pingree giveaways.
Yeah, Tom had sent me
at
several of
streams.
those in a blind, and they killed it. No doubt.
Yeah.
Marty.
What's cool,
To
I'm sorry,
date,
Tom.
I Danny, you know that 7 year single barrel that we got a few years
Danny
ago,
had
that
one,
was
didn't he?
130 proof.
Banger.
I've
That was
sampled
the
that out
proof,
to
wasn't
so
it,
many
Tom?
different people, and they're like, "Wow, this is incredible," and
Yeah.
that's their distillate. So yeah, for sure.
I'm lucky enough that I have cousins that live in Michigan, so I can get some Mayor Pingree
There you
down
go.
here, and it's good stuff. It really is.
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
Top
and what's
dog was
nice
on that
about
bid.
it
How about that?
is that it's really usually not very expensive either. I mean, it's usually about 50, 60 bucks here.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be more expensive out of state, or you figure in shipping and all that stuff, but
Well, you're taking a little bit of shipping, but it's not that bad.
yeah. Let's see.
And what's cool about if you actually go to the to Valentine to have a pour, and Tom's right, like you want to go hit their older stuff, but it's $15 an ounce for whatever
Mhm.
older pour you want, and it's $30 for 2 ounces. So you could get a 15-year for $30, and you're just striking gold.
God.
It's fantastic.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And if you wanted to try to track down a bottle of one of those, it's several $100s easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heck
and-
yeah.
And they've been really good when I've been down there to get pours, Danny. Top
I
Dog
got
said I was on the pick for barrels for Hope in the last Gorilla pick I did. Yeah. Top Dog, I think one of the first single barrel picks that I got from Green River was a Total Wine pick that was local. And to be honest, I did not like it. I thought it sucked. And I was like, maybe I just don't like Green River. But then, I got like Barrels for Hope pick, a few others, and I'm like, wow, these are really good. So I think it was just Total Wine picked a shitty barrel. That was
Yeah, that Total Wine pick sucked. It was terrible.
yeah, it really did. It's not good. And fortunately it was only $50-$60, but still it was not a good representation of
Yeah.
what Green River picks are.
No.
Yeah, top dog. You did a great job on that pick, man. I mean, I sent that to a buddy of mine in Virginia, and Tom, Luke. I sent that to him, and he was like, it blew him away. Like he just was laughing. He's like, I had no idea they made stuff like this. I'm like, it's killer, man.
Yeah, some of that stuff that's especially up around 130 is just killer. Especially the barrels for Hope Pick's really good. Some of these other ones I've got at that proof point and that age have been outstanding as well. So, all right. Let's see. K-Luke batch 11 and the toasted batch 4 is now available. All right. So, Marty, I got a question for you.
Hell, I didn't even drop the link. Sorry. That was the whole point.
All right. So my question is this. All right. So for something like K-Luke batch 11, all right. So you're going to see that online or you're going to see it at the store.
That ain't right.
And it's what, $110 or $120?
It's hold on a minute. I'm trying to get it to come up on seal. It's a $109.99, so 110.
All right, so 110. Now, are any of these age stated? Do we know how old the stock is that he's blending?
I know it's a 10-barrel blend. Age stated, I think they're all between 6 and 12 year.
Okay. All right, so that's
Wow.
a pretty good
I'll
range.
look here. 120. This batch 11 is 120 proof. Trying to see if I can. Okay, so you're looking this. It's a 36% rye, so it's a pretty good high rye mash bill. I don't have any other information on it. It's a 10-barrel blend. That's all I know.
All right.
Okay.
So
Sorry,
it's a blend, 6 to 12, barrel proof, whatever, and it's 110. Now I think it was batch 10, and I thought it was pretty good. But as far as a value goes, I don't know, man. I don't know that I can get on board with the 110, especially when you're looking at something like we just talked about Green River and how good those are at that age and at that proof point, and it's half the price, right?
Well,
Yep.
I'll tell you this: if you like leather and tobacco, batch 11 is your gig.
Okay.
I loved it. Jonathan, I was talking to him Tuesday night while I was out here, and he was sitting down to blend batch 5. I think it was batch 5 of the rye. And he goes, "What did you think of the leather and tobacco on 11?" I was like, "Dude, I'm so glad you said that because you just totally validated what I was getting." Yeah, he nailed it. And I was like, dude, I've not gotten anything like all their notes up to batch 10 have been sweet, fruit, viscosity, brown sugar, a little bit of powdered sugar when you go the toasted barrel side. But that's the first time on any of these that I've had leather, tobacco. So, I mean, but I'm with you, Tom. You got to pick and choose. I get it. 100%.
Yeah.
Well,
So I think it's one of those brands, and I don't know
What's
him personally, but the ones that I've tried, I don't think I'd pay another $110 without knowing exactly what I'm getting into, because I don't know that the value has been there for me.
Yeah.
I've not tried the toasted, but I think I've got like 7, 8, and 10. I think they've all been, pretty decent as far as, consistency. The price is all about 110. But as far as, looking forward, things I'm going to, buy automatically, that's going to be one that I really think about, because that's a lot of coin. And I don't know that the returns have been there.
It's a lot of coin. And you know what? Here's the thing about K-Luke too, that if you're a fanboy like me and a couple, Katie and Ethan and a couple other people, Dusty Dan, we do buy them. But here's the thing about that is you're getting 4 bourbon releases a year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're getting 2 rye releases and you're getting 2 toasted. And he's now doing single barrel picks. I think he just finished one with Fred Minnick, and I'm trying to hit his ass up
Okay.
so hard. Jonathan, if you're listening, I'm still there to do a single barrel of that stuff. And he does was it a Cabernet finish? I think the Cab finish. He did batch
Yeah,
one.
Keenan. Yeah,
He did that.
I've heard really good things about that Keenan finish, but at
Little Keenan,
140
that's
or
it, yeah.
150, I
But-
just haven't delved into it.
Tom, were you with me in Bardstown when we went in that little liquor store that was giving me and Gary Franchi those like 3 pours for like $7? You remember that?
I
3
don't.
pours for $7.
I think I might have caught you guys after that.
Oh shit, Mark! They
Dang.
had 15 stars. We were drinking 15 stars and shit.
Dang.
But I went up. Katie and Ethan and everybody came in with Jeffrey and Kelsey, and I was over there on the shelf looking, and I found that Keenan Batch 1. I was like, hey guys, here's freaking Keenan Batch 1 for $130.
Yeah, I mean
Dang.
that's a few bucks less than what you buy it for online. It's like 140, 150 bucks, right?
Yeah, I mean it was a great deal, and I already had it, but holy heck, that's one that when you start dealing with finishes, I like finished stuff, but I'm not batshit crazy, but I don't know. But I like everything Jonathan's done. It fits my profile, and that's the thing for everybody.
All right, so that's I think that's kind of what I was looking for. You say it fits your profile, because
It fits my
I know
profile.
that I've sampled out some of their stuff to other people, and they're like, "What is this? I don't like it at all."
So for me,
so it's not for everybody.
No, it's not. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So Thomas says, cheers, everyone. Got up at 4 a.m. to attend the worst Costco grand opening ever. I know Thomas is in Michigan. So tell me, what are you doing there, brother?
Dude, do they not have rotisserie chicken? Like, what else do you want?
Thank you, Top Jimmy.
No, you got to get the chicken bake. On your way out, you get a slice and a chicken bake, and you're good to go.
Hey,
Oh,
Marty,
dang.
did hey, Luke, which was it, the Cab finish, or did they do a cognac finish?
Who?
K. Luke.
No.
Okay, so I've had the
The
Cab
cognac.
too.
The cognac finish that I really like is the Old Elk.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I've had that Cab. That Cab that they did, that's the only one I've ever liked by K. Luke.
It's the only one you did or didn't.
You've
What'd
had
you
that
say?
one?
Yeah, Chris bought it across the street.
Oh, you did like it. You
I
said
thought
you
it
did
was
like it.
I thought it was fantastic.
Right
Yeah.
back.
All right.
But everything else that Tom has given me, because he knows I don't buy K. Luke, but everything he sampled to me, I can't get into it.
It's not for everybody.
Yes, Top Dog. It was
and-
evergreen.
All right, so let's give away some stuff here. So we've got geez, we're a couple hours in, so let's cut off the entries.
Hey, Danny, if
let's
you ever
do
want to
this.
try any of them, just hit me up. I'll send you. I've got everything from them.
All right, so we're gonna do, let's see, we'll do 3 prizes here. First is gonna be, we'll do the Larrikin stuff. And it looks like it's probably going to be about 2-ounce pours of 3 of their products, the ones I talked about at the beginning of the
Did you
stream.
drink all that, Tom, Tuesday?
No, you know what? I poured out samples for Franchi and gave them to him
Okay.
at the Evernorth thing I went to. But I did drink probably 1.5 ounces of each one the other night.
Hey, Tom, I'll do something too. I'll throw in a 3 sample flight of the Heaven Hill Select stock, the Armagnac sherry, and the brandy finish.
Oh wow, those are big hitters.
No, they're great.
Very
I love
generous. Very generous. All right, so first prize is going to be the Larrikin. Second prize will be the flight of the walleyes. Third will be samples of just the 2 picks that I opened up tonight, which will be the 21090 and the Stuff and Whiskey pick. So that'll be the third prize, and then we'll run a fourth one for Danny's generous giveaway here, which is the Heaven Hill select stock, the 3 different finishes.
Fantastic.
Very generous.
Yeah, killer,
Danny, thank
Danny.
you. So we'll do a total of 4. Tyler, if you want to spit. All right. So before you do this, Tyler, hit shuffle. Now there's a debate, and you guys can chime in here or not, but random is random. The wheel's going to spin, and it's going to pull out a random winner.
There you go.
I still think you got to shuffle this.
Hey, $1
right.
gets you a shot. Come on.
Yeah, whatever. All right, so we got it shuffled. Tyler, yes? Tyler, give me a thumbs up. Okay, very good. All right, so why don't we do the first one, which will be the Larrikin samples giveaway. Spin her up. Let's give away some boobs.
Spin that wheel. Let's see who's going to win. Come
I
on.
heard it.
Ain't going to be me. Looks like Roger.
Looks like Roger Reese. Roger is on a hot streak.
Good
So
for
cheers,
Roger.
Roger. You're gonna get some Larrikin samples.
You'll like
Yummy.
it.
You can remove Roger. Let's do the second one, which is gonna be the walleye flight.
I
Okay.
like the one
Is
this
that an American single malt?
I don't have the American single malt walleye. It's all rise,
Oh,
and it looks like it's gonna be Mr. Paul P.
all P. Congratulations, sir.
Paul, we'll get you some walleye.
Excellent.
And then third one,
Something
which was
new.
going to be what? I'm sorry, I totally forgot. Oh, the samples, which is going to be the 2 picks here, which is going to be the walleye stuff and whiskey pick and the OCD 21090 pick. So just 2 samples on this one, the third prize. Go ahead and spin that one, Ty.
Excellent. Okay. And who we got? Who we got? Is that William Hall?
William
Hall.
All right, congratulations, William.
That's
And
killer.
then we'll do
Congratulations,
one
sir.
more, and this is going to be the Heaven Hill Select Stock samples from Danny. So thank you very much, Danny, for agreeing to put these in here. Spin it one more time, and let's see who gets
Oh.
these.
I'm going to guess Douglas is going to win this one. Nope, I was wrong.
It looks like it's going to be Travis. Somebody at the
Travis
beginning said they wanted
Robinson.
Travis to win, and lo and behold, Travis, you're going to get some samples, buddy.
Congratulations.
So
T-Rob.
congratulations to all the winners. Congratulations. Thank you for everybody who stopped in and hung out on the stream tonight. Bullshitted with us a little bit. Had a pour, had some fun. I appreciate you guys. This was a good time for me. Marty, it's always a pleasure hanging out with you, my
Yeah,
friend.
man.
This
Mr.
guy.
Great Shot, thanks for hanging out, buddy.
Some of my great.
Appreciate
great
you having me
friends
on.
right here. Yep, some of my favorites right here, boys.
All right,
Hey,
well, we
love y'all guys.
appreciate that. And I think we're going to end it here. So
Yep.
for everyone else that's still around, cheers. Thanks for
Say it,
watching.
Mark. Say it,
Hey,
Mark.
Jackie.
Peace, love, whiskey, y'all.